Welcome to this lesson about AI regulations. The widespread integration of AI promises significant advancements across industries. However, with innovation comes the need for regulations to safeguard against potential risks and ensure ethical deployment. Let's start by unpacking the regulatory landscape of AI and explore key areas of consideration for those seeking to implement AI technologies responsibly. The emergence of generative AI has sparked widespread interest, with platforms like GPT experiencing staggering growth, reaching 1 million users in just 5 days. The rapid acceleration is fueled by its vast potential, offering enhanced productivity, and has an estimated annual economic impact ranging from $2.6 to $4.4 trillion. However, alongside the excitement, there's a need for regulation. Companies developing AI systems face significant consequences if their platforms are not adequately trained and refined. Major generative AI companies have already suffered substantial embarrassment and market value losses due to instances where their AI platforms generated false or illogical information, which is a phenomenon known as hallucinating. Hallucinating is the AI equivalent of seeing shapes in clouds or faces on the moon, except in this case, the AI hallucinates responses due to various factors like biased input data and overfitting the model to the input data. AI creators also want to ensure that their outputs are safe and appropriate. These methods are often referred to as applying guardrails, which are put in to mitigate the risk of generating harmful or inappropriate content. See my lecture on guardrails for more information about this. The increase in generative AI and the few stories of public AI failures which I have touched on in this course have brought to light various risks, prompting concerns about the development, usage, and impact of this technology. Recognizing these risks, regulators are keen to mitigate potential harms and ensure legal frameworks that provide certainty for companies whilst fostering innovation. The aim is to develop consistent international standards. While comprehensive AI regulation is yet to be passed by any country, leading efforts are underway in Brazil, China, the European Union, Singapore, South Korea, and the United States. These initiatives vary from broad legislation integrating existing data protection and cybersecurity regulations to sector-specific laws and principles-based approaches. So, to navigate the evolving regulatory landscape, organizations must proactively address key areas such as transparency, governance, data management, cybersecurity, individual rights, and by doing so, they can not only mitigate the risks, but also position themselves as trusted providers in the era of generative AI. Let's look into some of the risks and how these are regulated. Firstly, data protection and privacy regulations. Statistics reveal a growing concern among Americans, with 79% expressing worries about their data usage by companies, which highlights the urgency of safeguarding personal information. The European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, imposing strict guidelines and significant fines for non-compliance, underscoring the critical necessity of protecting personal data, especially in AI applications. Let's face it, nobody wants the pictures that they upload to their social media and share with their friends being used as deepfake videos, in them doing things that could embarrass them or incriminate them. Laws may need to be passed to deter people from doing such things. Deepfakes are going to be an issue for all of us, because how are we going to trust anything that we see in video ever again once they become so convincing that we can't tell if the video is a deepfake or not? Although AI companies are trying to solve this by embedding watermarks or deepfake protection and metadata into the videos, it still remains a concern. Secondly, you've got bias and fairness regulations. Studies such as one conducted by MIT shed light on the disturbing persistence of bias within AI systems. For example, in early AI facial recognition, they tended to have a higher error rate on darker skinned individuals. And more recently, Google's Gemini image generation, when launched, had a real bias against white people, in many cases refusing to show historically accurately generated pictures, even when requested and prompted, leading to much publicity and Google rolling back that release to be amended. Legislative proposals like the Algorithmic Accountability Act in the United States aim to rectify such biases. reflecting mounting concerns and the imperative for fairness in AI decision-making processes. Thirdly, transparency and explainability regulations. PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, reports that 67% of business executives identify the lack of transparency in AI algorithms as a significant barrier to adoption. Regulations like GDPR advocate for explainable AI, mandating transparent explanations for AI decisions, fostering trust and accountability in their operation. Fourthly, safety and security regulations. A report by the World Economic Forum highlights the consensus among cybersecurity specialists and AI experts, with 61% advocating for governmental regulation to ensure cybersecurity in AI applications. Entities like the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency provide comprehensive guidelines to fortify AI systems against cyber threats, safeguarding critical infrastructure and sensitive data. Finally, number 5, internal cooperation and standards. Predictions by the International Data Corporation anticipate widespread adoption of AI-specific data protection and privacy regulations globally by 2024. Efforts by international organizations such as the International Organizations for Standardization focus on standardizing AI technologies to ensure interoperability, transparency, and trust across borders. So, what are the key considerations you should make in your AI journey? You should understand regulatory requirements, of course, stay informed about existing and forthcoming regulations relevant to AI implementation within your jurisdiction. I'll put some links in the resources section to help to get you started with this. You should also address ethical concerns, proactively assessing and mitigating potential ethical implications of AI applications to uphold principles of fairness and accountability. Also, consider transparency. Ensure transparency and explainability within AI systems to foster trust and comprehension among stakeholders. See my lecture on AI ethics and transparency for more information on that. Invest in security. Implement robust cybersecurity measures to fortify AI systems against vulnerabilities and cyber threats, safeguarding both data integrity and user privacy. And finally, stay engaged. Remain active, involved in industry discussions and initiatives. Keep abreast of the evolving regulation frameworks and best practices in AI governance. Again, see links in the resources section of this lecture, which will help you with some of that. This brings me to the end of this lecture. In this lecture, we've seen that navigating the regulatory landscape of AI demands a holistic approach that encompasses legal, ethical, and technical considerations. By adhering to regulations, addressing any ethical concerns, and prioritizing transparency and security, you can make use of the great opportunities that AI has to offer while safeguarding against some of the potential risks and ensuring responsible and ethical deployment of any of your AI systems. Do have a look at the resources section of this video to find a framework which will help you to navigate the regulatory landscape, and I'll see you in the next video.